Hello, collective. It is Kai. So, I've been avoiding how I've been feeling, which just hasn't been great because it is 3:55, nice angel numbers, in the morning of November 21st, Tuesday of 2023. And I've decided to make this video to send support to anyone who has been an unrequited lover before. This is what I've learned from being that in the past. And there are the 5 stages of grief. There's denial, there's anger, there is acceptance, there's depression. I think there's one more and I'm forgetting it, but I feel like the most important thing, though, that I've been realizing is, 1, trusting my intuition, 100% trusting my intuition, and not questioning it, not trying to question it, not trying to confuse myself. And then 2, allowing my emotions to be experienced, just experiencing them, honestly, and not judging myself and not trying to define myself by it or create this whole definition of how I am and how I feel and how I perceive and all these things. And there's not necessarily steps to this. It's cycles, there's patterns. I've just realized that I do cringe very, very aggressively at myself. And therefore I'm judging myself, and also understanding that I don't like that part of myself. That is a shadow aspect. I don't like when I like someone and they don't like me back. I don't like that. And I've realized that that's on me. It's not that I don't like this person who doesn't like me back. No, they have every right to choose that, okay? Because that is their choice. I think the biggest part about that is that I don't like liking people who don't like me back is because I like myself a lot. And allowing myself to not put myself on a pedestal, that's something that I've healed from very early on because of being compared to people, being in competition with people, all these things. And especially it's within my culture, so generational traumas that I've been breaking back to back to back because it comes up. And not to segue off into that, but like I really realized I have like my own reading here to kind of like help me collect my thoughts. I've been realizing too with my videos is that I don't want them to be long, but I don't necessarily need them or want them to be short. I just want to be more intentional with what I'm saying because I am not a perfect being. I am not. I'm still healing. I will be healing for the rest of my life. I have trauma reactions. I have responses that I want to get better at. I have conditionings. I have my own challenges, you know? Like, I'm not someone who's like, oh, I'd only want to come here when I'm healed or have come to, I guess, a solution with myself in certain aspects of how I wish to be and express. But I realized that my new thing is or not new, but like the thing that I want to like share is that I've been implementing putting a reading out for myself, reflecting, thank you, confirmation, reflecting, having my own personal experience with it, so things that I don't necessarily want to or need to share, and then expressing it intentionally to you, audience. Thank you so much to my new subscribers for being here, because I do believe it's really important, especially as I'm gonna go back to school. I'm applying to school. I'm actually doing it. And I really wanted to go to this one school because I visited their campus. I met people who went to school for psychology, more specifically counseling, and people who live in this town are so, oh my god, just like every person that I've met, like genuinely every person that I've truly talked to. And yeah, it's Boise State University. I also love Boise because roads, The skate park is chef's kiss, okay? X Games was held there for the past 2 years. This year they didn't do it. But like that skate park, bro, is like hands down one of my favorite skate parks. Anyways, I'm like getting so excited just thinking about it. Or talking about it, but sorry, going back. Freaking hell, Jesus. My ADHD tendencies too. I'm not diagnosed professionally, but from my own self-observation, I've definitely exhibited a lot of ADHD tendencies. Gosh, damn it. Sorry. I really wanted to share this because please do not feel ashamed for how deeply you feel for someone. Even if they don't like you back, like truly it's not about them, you know? And I think, especially as someone who's a Capricorn moon, okay? A Capricorn moon and a Scorpio sun. This really makes me feel not only very intensely, but I tend to be extremely close to delusion, but also very tapped into my intuition, and also very observational and hard on myself because of my Capricorn moon. But being able to trust my own judgment is something that I struggle with all the time because of my, I guess you could say, more practical Capricorn moon in some senses, and yet at the same time, like the aspects of that coexisting with my Scorpio sun, which is a fixed water sign, and Capricorn's the cardinal earth sign. So definitely like bringing into my space, what do I want to say about how I feel? How do I really feel? How am I approaching how I feel? Am I really seeing myself, witnessing myself? And then am I truly being practical with how I feel and how I'm expressing it? And there's so many things that I could talk about in these aspects, because let me just explain. Because I'm not going to talk about anyone else's situation but my own and how I perceive it, which is all I have, honestly, because in this situation, I feel like I wasn't able to truly understand this person because I wasn't able to experience that before. So this is probably the first time that I've ever really actualized not only remaining confident and not invalidating how I feel and what I've experienced, but also like not projecting it, not crossing people's boundaries when they've been very clear with me. And in my own ways, I've been doing that, and yet at the same time that was very much still being misunderstood. And then because of my own anxiety, by the way, okay, this is one of the biggest things, is to acknowledge that I have anxieties, okay? I have anxieties, I have fucking trauma, and someone who experienced me being someone experiencing physical assault very freshly during this period of time, I was extremely dysregulated. I have to acknowledge that because that shit fucked with me, and it made me feel extremely overstimulated times 10. Like, oh god, it's just like crazy because I've never experienced that before. Especially from someone that I extremely trusted, and being in my own space of building myself up, being in a confident space, feeling healthy enough, and yet at the same time completely being debilitated because I was depressed, I wasn't eating, I was grieving a friend that passed away, and yeah, and that is crazy because I've been healing that recently. That's gonna be in another video as I start to like really kind of more contextualize things for you guys, because I can't just make videos that are I've been looking at my old videos, by the way, and they're just like an hour and 20 minutes long, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking edit this shit, because I do not believe that I should be posting for myself. This is for me as a creator. I do not believe that I should be posting content that is quick, because that is not truly how I am, and I do not wish to plug into the consumerist ideology of, oh, keep going, turn over. Like, no, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to plug into that. This is just my style. If you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you're not here. So yeah, anyways, gosh, I digress. I refuse to feel ashamed for how I felt, because I realized that I still have a tendency to respond to this person in this very positive, I guess you could say, light, when they could, for all I know, they resent me. They do not like me. They do not want to be around me. They completely reject me, in other words. And so I had to understand that I don't actually want to choose this person anymore. Like, there's a part of me that understands that I have a very, like, there's like almost like this instinctual response to them. And I've been honestly kind of like, I've been kind of picking at this because I've been trying to understand if this is a conditioned response, in other words, attachment wounds, things like that, and trying to really see clearly if I actually like this person or do I just like the idea of this person, and how I perceive them and how that's practical and what's being actually presented to me versus what I'm perceiving and how I take that information in. And it's kind of like mind fucking a little bit, but it's still allowing me to take a step back versus completely being immersed in my emotional experience. And so I don't know if any of this is making any sense to anyone, but like, whatever. So I've been processing that, and yet at the same time I also haven't been facing it because I'm like so I haven't been facing my emotions. And that is honestly the most like thing that I would not be able to sustain myself to do. I know that sometimes I do need space from my own emotions because I'm just like, oh, this is so much. Like, oh my goodness, like I just want to not, you know, like I just want to not, but you can't control how you feel. That's the one thing. Like, despite it being very much fleeting and not permanent, it's still not something that can be controlled. I'm just gonna lay that as the foundation here, is like, I'm not gonna apologize for how I feel because that's also not gonna happen. I'm not gonna invalidate how I feel and what I experience. I will take responsibility. If I can work with you, I will take responsibility for how I act and how I behave and how I speak to you. That's only if we have a connection, and that's only if we have mutual reciprocation and respect for each other as individuals that are different. On that note, I've been realizing, like, I genuinely cannot consume any information about this person in the physicality because I do not welcome them into my life. That's simple as I can put it. At this point in time, I want to focus on myself, in other words. I do feel like I need to face this eventually if I do want to work in that workspace that I was around them in, and they're there, because that's just something I'm gonna have to deal with for a future self. And so I'm very much healing a lot, and I've understood that there's just so much that I've had to walk away from, despite it seemingly somehow being such a wonderful thing for me. And I honestly sometimes don't understand either. Like, I feel like there's certain parts of me that does understand very innately, but at the same time, I don't need all the answers now. Not even from myself. And I'm not gonna force myself to, like, wow, I really want to say this word, but it's like at the tip of my tongue. But anyways, it's pretty new for me, honestly, to stand in my power like this, because I've felt a lot of shame in the past for how I felt, and I've cut off people very cleanly. I'm literally like, goodbye. Like, goodbye. And after experiencing this with this person, where they pretty much didn't want anything to do with me. And then also experiencing death with a friend that I very much have had a hard time letting go of. And I understood what it felt like to experience death in life, being alive. And that is something that I have to deal with and take responsibility for, because that's just how I responded to it. And I'm just understanding that I don't want to choose that anymore, and I don't want to cry about this anymore. Like, genuinely, that is just where I'm at. And I do respect how I feel. I do respect how deeply I have just emotions in general, but it's so important for me to be confident in myself and to live confidently and to build that confidence as someone who had that shit broken down by very much poundingly suffocating words from parent figures, from piano, from so many things, man. Like, I'm just like not here to make myself feel bad for feeling for someone. Like, I just feel like that's the most ridiculous thing. I just like genuinely can't do that to myself. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me anymore to do that, to make myself feel like shit just because I feel so deeply for someone, and deeply positive things. That's the one thing where I'm just like, wow, I just can't seem to think negatively towards this person. I do get angry because I feel like I'm crossing my own boundaries, where I'm not respecting myself by not giving myself that attention and love. But that's something that I once again have to take responsibility for and show up for. And so I think the biggest thing though is I'm really really understanding how this has been my damaged feminine wounds. Like, the wounds that I didn't even realize were so open and so like raw. And I just get chills at it, because I'm also like, I need to heal this for myself, because if I even want to attract someone as a feminine entity, I need to be the feminine entity that I truly want to be and see in myself and need to be for myself, you know? Like, I can't be what other people are entirely, because I'm not them. And I can't keep trying to protect myself in this way, where I'm like shutting it off and exhibiting a lot of masculinity more, and I just don't feel safe, in other words, emotionally. And I need to give that to myself. I need to give that space to myself so that I can express these things and be my own feminine my own feminine entity, flipping around and floundering. And like, who fucking cares how foolish it is to like someone? Okay, like, honestly though, having a crush on someone is so foolish. Crush, falling for someone, foolish. Because it's funny I'm talking about this, because I literally have the Fool card out, but like, the Fool card is literally card 0, infinite possibilities. I forget, actually, do I even have it here? I think I do. But this is I'm going back into studying cartomancy, because usually I just like, I briefly go over things, but it's ruled by Uranus, which is air energy and air planet, and it's about the Great Awakener. And to have this energy here is truly how I feel about love, because love is faith. Love is unconditional, because it's also love as a choice. and I just kept choosing this person despite everything, and it just drives me insane because I'm literally like, why, you know? And I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't know if there really is a reason why, because especially because they pretty much rejected me. I'm just gonna say that they rejected me, and that's why it was unrequited, because I just like kept choosing them over and over again for years. That's the craziest part, is I'm like, why am I trying to rush my process? I've literally chosen this person for years on end, and and it makes me oh my god, it makes me like gosh, I just can't help it. That's like the only way that I could truly describe it, is I can't help it. But now I'm like, okay, how am I gonna source this and redirect this through me, for me, with me, into me, and instead of externally, right? So that is why we're gonna end that here on that note. I really pray that this is helpful, because I don't know, I'm figuring it out, okay? Like I'm practicing celibacy, and I'm becoming a lot more serious about it, because I'm just like, I don't want to be in a relationship right now. Like, I genuinely just want to focus on myself and give myself this like immense amount of love that I seem to have and um and just continue to create with myself, because I'm doing all of my venues a lot more passionately and intentionally. My fashion, Jitsuneki, my poetry, kai_poet.22. Jitsuneki is JITSUNE_KI. If you want any of these things, they're gonna be in the description, I guess. But I do fashion, I do poetry, I do singing, I do piano, I do cardimancy on TikTok, and I do OnlyFans. And so I just was like, okay, I need to come back to me, because I have just so many things that I want to create. I just have to do it. So that's why I'm going to post this video without editing it, even though I know that this one's pretty long, and there are parts of myself where I'm like, I don't like it, but like, that's just something I'm accepting. Even if I don't like it, I'm learning to love her. I'm learning to love this part of myself, because I'm just like, who else is gonna accept me except me? You know, like, it's gotta be me. I'm the only one who can actually do it right by me, right, and what works for me, you know. Oh, I have this sad little flower over here that dried. I forgot to water it. But yeah, man, like, gosh, I'm really just not trying to like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I'm just not trying to like do that whole victim mentality. I got the 10 of Swords in reverse, and this really reminded me of, like, in this reading, it really reminded me of how I treated myself in my past relationships. God, I was so mean. I was so, actually, like, I was like a literal demon to myself. Like, I was like, I don't even want to go into it because I can't. Like, it's just not who I am anymore. And I'm not ashamed for how I feel, even though I do laugh at myself and I do cringe. It's just how I am. And I just am like, okay, I need to share this. I need to cherish this. I need to like actually continue to celebrate myself. Like, I have come so far from that person to actually express myself, even though I knew that they didn't like me, okay? Like, I knew that they didn't, well, I don't know if they did like me or if they didn't like me. I don't know, this person confuses me even now. But like, it's just like, they just weren't choosing me. And I was consistently choosing them. And yet I still decided to confess. And that was a big power move for me. Because in the end, I still decided to stand up for how I feel. And that is something that needs to be celebrated, but not attached to, okay? Like, for anyone who's struggling with this, like, I send so much love and support. Oh my god, bro. Like, please be safe. Please be nice to yourself. Because genuinely, I realized is that I didn't need them to reciprocate. I didn't need them to respond even. It would have been nice. It would have been cool to have a conversation with them. But in the end, I have to actually just stand for who I am and also respectfully so walk the fuck away when it's not reciprocated. And if we're in a proper connection where we can communicate and talk about things and build boundaries and also change together, then that's a totally different story, totally different choice. And so yeah, I'm just like, I'm really still healing from things here because I've literally been in denial for like the past few days because I'm just like, oh god, why did I have to be so reactive in that moment? Why do I still like, I don't even like know how to describe this feeling. It's like so animal. It's so animal. And I don't mean this in like the disgusting, like, sorry to say like this, but like the disgusting man way. Like, I don't mean it like that. I literally mean like it just happens and I'm like, fuck bro, like god damn it, like I don't want to do this to myself anymore. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm expressing this, because I've decided finally not to do this to myself anymore. And so yeah, I'm pretty damn proud of myself, to be honest. I don't know if any of this, I will connect with the right people. That's my one thing, is I realize I am different. I am so different from so many fucking people, and it sucks because it just divides sometimes. It really does divide sometimes because there's so much fear, and I get it. I have a lot of shit ton of fear too, okay? That's why I want to face it. That's why I'm more confrontational than not, because I'm like, there needs to be a conversation because I don't know where you're coming from unless we have this conversation, unless it's me and you, the person. And so that's why I don't like word of mouth, because I just like, or honestly, I guess I just don't trust word okay, yeah. Anyways, I am gonna end this here. I send you so much love and support, man. Like, truly, don't attach from it. Don't attach yourself from the experience or the emotions in its totality are not meant to be externally validated. They're not. Like, it's not about the external. And sometimes, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I know it sucks to not have that reciprocation. But that's, once again, it's not the responsibility. It's actually yours to give it to yourself. And that's why I've been on this healing journey, because I'm like, what can I do for myself? What can I do? What part do I play? And how am I responsible? How can I continue to be responsible? How can I show up? And in this scenario, it's like, okay, you don't want to come forward to me. You don't want to converse with me. You don't want a connection with me. That's your choice. I want a connection with me. I want to communicate with myself. I want to cultivate. I want to transform this, because I can't keep giving it to people who don't want it. Period. Got the Emperor card coming out, which is dope as shit. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, like the video. I literally just talk about this so much, and I will continue, okay? Because I think love is amazing. Love is the best, bro. Love is the way. And it just brings so much joy and light in life when it's a challenge sometimes to be alive and to feel alive. And so that's why I live like this, because I do struggle and I have my challenges, and I do have traumas, and I do have conditionings, and yeah. So I hope this helped in any way, shape, or form for you to understand that your feelings are beautiful and they're valid and they're meant to be experienced by you. So thank you once again for being here, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day or night. It is 4:26 in the morning. Wonderful. Swell. Much love, okay? Stay safe.